slept. We just finished discussing the bottom of Rovim and Beis that the Ziknei Beis Av slept on top of the Rovadim Shel Evan, the rows of stones. And the Gemara wanted to know that's not a very comfortable bed. Why did they not bring in beds into the Beis HaMoikod? Again, we're on the very bottom of Chavav Amid Beis. The Gemara asked, why not bring into beds? And the Gemara answered that the reason is because it's not appropriate to bring a bed into the Beis HaMikdash. So 2 lines in the bottom, Chavav Amid Beis, Pirchei Kahuna. Pirchei Kahuna, Ish Ksusai Ba'aretz, the young Kohanim, each one slept with his clothing on the ground. They did not sleep in their big day Kodesh. Rather, they took off their big day Kodesh. The Mishnah said they put it underneath their head, which we'll talk about in a moment, and then they slept in their big day Chol. Asks the Gemara, if you look at the Mishnah carefully, there's 2 words that are used for the young Kohanim. One, the Mishnah began and called them Rovim, and now the Mishnah calls them Pirchei Kahuna. So asks the Gemara, Amai Hasam Karilei Rovim. The beginning of the Mishnah said that the Rovim, the young Kohanim, would watch, and Hacha, and over here Karilahu on the top of Chav Zayin Amid Aleph, Karilu Pirchei Kahuna, and over here we call them the young Kohanim. If it just means young Kohanim, why is different words used? Answers the Gemara. Amri, they explained, and it's true, it's 2 different age groups of Kohanim. Halsam, in the beginning of the Mishnah where it says Rovim, what's that referring to? That's referring to the Shomrim, the Kohanim, the young Kohanim that watch at night. What age would the young Kohanim be watching the Beis HaMikdash? At an age that they were not able to do the Avodah in the Beis HaMikdash. And therefore, Kari Lo Rovim, we call them Rovim. They're young. They're not fit to do the proper Avodah. They can't do the Shechita. They can't bring Karbanos. And therefore, what do they do? But they're allowed to be the watchmen. Whereas Hacha, over here, when it's discussing them sleeping at night, what does it say? They're able to do the Avodah. They're sleeping at night. They're going to wake up in the morning, and they're going to do the Avodah in the Beis HaMikdash. Kari lahu Pirchei, therefore we call them Pirchei. So you have to realize in the Mishnah, there's a fine nuance where the Mishnah swaps. It seems like the whole Mishnah is talking about the Shomrim in the Beis HaMikdash. But now we're seeing that's not really accurate. Because now we're seeing that what? We're seeing it is talking about the Shomrim. But when it comes to discuss the sleeping arrangements, then it discusses the Pirchei Kahuna, which are what? Older. Now what is the precise age? I don't know if everyone in their learning groups discussed this. It's not exactly clear what is the precise age. Either the ages are between under bar mitzvah, that's the easiest one, right? Until bar mitzvah, you're not a gadol, so you can't work in the Beis HaMikdash. Above bar mitzvah, you could. Or it means until 20. Or it means from 13 to 20, you were called quote-unquote young. Then you were allowed to be the watchman. And then at age 20, you did the avodah, a very big machlokes, exactly what the story is. And we continue the Gemara, Tanan Hasam, we're 3 lines down, Chav Zayin Amid Aleph. Says the Gemara, Tanan Hasam, we learned in the Mishnah in Midos. Again, we mentioned that Midos is the counterpart to Tamid. Tamid is all about the avodah in the Beis HaMikdash. Midos is more about the structure and all the different areas of the Beis HaMikdash. So Tanan Hasam, we learned in the Mishnah, Beishleisha Mekaimais, in 3 places, HaKohanim Shaimim Beis HaMikdash, the Kohanim watch in the Beis HaMikdash. This should hopefully sound familiar. Beis Havtinois, Beis Hanitzais, Ube Beis HaMoikod. The 3 places that we listed in our Mishnah, Beis Havtinois, Beis Hanitzais, and the Beis HaMoikod. The Leviim and the Leviim. How many places did the Leviim watch in the Beis HaMikdash? Be'esrim ve'echad mekaimos. In 21 places. Now, the Mishnah on Midos that we're quoting over here explains where were the 21 places. So the truth is, in the back of your Gemaras, if you all flip, you'll see a picture of the Beis HaMikdash. And in the picture of the Beis HaMikdash, it's actually marked off the different locations where the Kohanim would watch and where the Leviim would watch. Over here, this picture over here. If you look at this picture over here it details the different places. Probably in your Gemaras, you'll see all those little people are circled. That's our learning group. We circle them as we read them. But you'll see there's 21 little black guys over here, little black stick figures for Leviim, and 3 little white figures for the Kohanim. These are all the different places of watching in the Beis HaMikdash. So now that you see that, we're going to read it inside. Says the Gemara, Chamisha, 5 of the Leviim watched, Al Chamisha Shari Harabayis, on the 5 gates of the Harabayis. The Arba and 4 watched where? Al Arba Pinaisav, on the 4 corners. So we have 5 gates, and now we have 4 corners of the Harabayis. Continues the Gemara, quoting this Mishnah in Midos, that explains Mi Bifnim, the 4 corners on the inside of the Harabayis. Chamisha, now you have another 5, so we have 5 and 4 is 9. Another 5 is where Al Chamisha Shari Azara, on the 5 gates of the Azara. So now we're up to how many? 14. 5, 4, and 5 is 14. The Arba and another 4 equaling 18. Where Al Arba Pinaisav Mibachotz, on the 4 corners of the outside. So now we have 18. Echad, another Levi was where Belishkas HaKarban, that's 19. Echad, another Levi, number 20, Belishkas HaPareiches, on the room of the Pareiches. And Echad, Achere Beis HaKapoires. One was outside of the Beis HaKapoires, equaling 21 places of the Leviim. Says the Gemara Gevaldik. So now we got the 21 places. But Minahani Mili, from where do we know that these were the 21 places? Amar Rav Yehuda. We're about 13 lines down. Chav Zayin Amar Aleph. Amar Rav Yehuda explains Rav Yehuda. Misura v'amila mastita tana. Some say we learned in a Mishnah D'chsev. The pasuk says, with regard to the Leviim, it's a pasuk discussing the Leviim watching in the Mishkan in the times of David HaMelech. A pasuk in Divrei Yamim says the pasuk La Mizrach HaLeviim Shisha. To the Mizrach, the Leviim were 6. La Safoina, to the north, La Yoim, the north of the day, Arba. 6 and 4 is 10. Lenegva Leyoim, south is another 4, is 14. La Asufim, and to the Asufim, Shnayim. So we don't know what this means exactly, but Shnayim, 2 and 2. Leparvar Lemayriv Arba, another 4. La Mesila, Shnayim La Parvar. To the Mesila, another 2. So let's try to count this up. Pasuk began 6 Lemizrach, okay, another 4. So 6 and 4 is 10. Lenegva, another 4 is 14. Asufim 2. Let's say that means 2 is 16. Leparvar, another 4 is 20. Lemesila, another 2 is 22. What are we looking for? 21. So we have a problem over here. We don't understand how to read this pasuk. Says the Gemara, either it was 22 or it said Asufim Shnayim. So I only counted as 2. But if I were to ask you, the pasuk says Asufim Shnayim. That sounds like 2 and 2, 4. So 22 and another 2, that would be 24, which we're looking for 21. Says the Gemara, Amri asks the Gemara, Hani Esrim Varbo Havi. You just listed 24. You're looking for a source that there's 21, but you just listed 24. Amar Abaye, so explains Abaye that what the pasuk said, La Sufim Shnayim. What does that mean? Hachi Kamar. Le'asuf. You're right in the final answer. Let's get there. La'asufim Shnayim. Doesn't mean 2 and 2. It means just 2. So 24. Let's get rid of 2. What do we now have? 22. We're still over 1. La'asufim Shnayim. Says the Gemara, and of course, every time you learn Gemaras like these, you wonder, like, come on, Gemara, what was that having mean? You took 24, you got rid of 2, it's 22. Ask Gemara, Akati, it's still 22. We all can do math. Okay, that's how the Gemara develops itself, finds its final destination. Answers the Gemara when the Mishnah concluded, and the Mishnah said, La Masila Shnayim the Parvar. Says the Gemara, Heich de Parvar Chadhavei. When the Mishnah said the Parvar, it's only one. It said La Masila Shnayim, which means 2. The Achrina, and the other one was what? Bitzavsa, who the Azil, the Yosef Gabei, was just there for company. He wasn't really a watchman. The pasuk said that Masila, there are 2 people there. Says the Gemara, really was only one. One was a watchman. What was the other guy doing there? Keeping him company. Why did that watchman specifically need company? I don't understand. Why didn't every watchman get a partner to help him out? Explains the Gemara, because it's standing on the outside of the wall. Because on the outside of the wall, he's going to be all by himself, and he's going to be lonely. So that watchman, we gave him a partner to watch with. Was the partner really a watchman? No. So if I were to ask you, how many watchmen were there in the world of the Leviim? The answer is 21. If I were to ask you, how many people were there? The answer is 22. There's a 22nd Levi that his job is not to be a watchman. His job was official schmoozer. Keep the other Levi company. Make sure he's not bored all by itself. Now, we wrap up, says the Gemara, my leparvar. What does this word parvar mean? Amar Rabba Bar Shila, Kemanda Amar. It means, like the opinion that says that the word parvar comes from the word kilape bar, towards the outside. Like we just explained that this last watch post of the Levi was on the outside. So kilape bar, it's on the outside. So again, what's the final tally? 6 and 4 is 10. Another 4 is 14. 2 on the Asufim is 16. And another 5 is 21. Okay, we're smack in the middle of Chav Zayin Amud Aleph. We have another minute and a half. Continues the Gemara. Ibayisema. Another teretz. Lo'ilam. Really, I'll tell you that how many were there? Esrim Varba. Really, I'll tell you, there were 24. Says the Gemara. Really, I'll tell you there were 24. Kiddusiv, like we started off when we did the original tally. We said Asufim 2 and 2. And we said the final guy wasn't just for company. It was a real watchman. So how much was it? 24. Says the Gemara. Ukiddusiv tlasa minayu. Of the 24, they weren't all Leviim. Let's remember, we started off this Mishnah and we said, these are the watchmen. How many Kohanim are watching? 3. How many Leviim are watching? 21. 21 and 3 is 24. So says the Gemara that when the pasuk in Divrei Hayamim explaining the watchman by David HaMelech, you know why it's 24? Because tlasa minayu de Kohanim, 3 are Kohanim, and Esrim v'chad is the Leviim. And we finished that the Gemara says, 1 second, v'hacha Leviim u'dichsiv. But the pasuk says, la mizrach ha-Leviim. So how are you telling me that it means Kohanim? Answers the Gemara, ki Rav Yeshua ben Levi. Like Rav Yeshua ben Levi. Says the Gemara, like Rav Yeshua ben Levi. Says the Gemara, like Rav Yeshua ben Levi. What does Rav Yeshua ben Levi say? Damar Rav Yeshua ben Levi. Be'ezrim v'arba mikaymois. In 21, 4. That's funny. The whole point is 24. Be'ezrim v'arba mikaymois. In 24 places, Nikru Kohanim Leviim. Usually we call a Kohen, a Levi, a Levi. Says the Gemara, in 24 places, Kohanim are called Leviim. This Mishnah, this pasuk in Divrei Hayamim is Echad Mehem. Kohanim HaLeviim b'nei tzaddik. So the Gemara concludes, how many watchmen Kohanim were there? 3. How many Leviim were there? 21. 21 and 3 is 24. The pasuk in Divrei Yamim lists how many? 24. The pasuk calls them Leviim. Why does the pasuk call them Leviim? Because this is one of the places that Leviim are called, Kohanim, are called Leviim. That's the second teretz of the Gemara. The first teretz of the Gemara was what? Asufim shnayim shnayim means not 4 but 2. And the final 2, leparvar, meant klape bar, on the outside. One was a watchman and one was there to keep him company.